Hey my friends, I wanted to do a follow-up video to yesterday because I woke today thinking more about death, and I want to share with you a bit of the gifts of death for me, and forgiveness, and just some mullings that have been moving through my body and deeply moving me. I woke with this familiar feeling to me that I want to go home. And I make a distinction between wanting to die and wanting to go home. And any of you, those from Rhodes, know me. Probably every class I've taught at Rhodes, I'd ask everybody, how many people have had the thoughts of wanting to die? And most everybody would put their hand up. And that doesn't mean that you're suicidal. And it doesn't mean that I'm suicidal. And I make this distinction because it's so natural to want to go home. And what's true for me is to want to go home to God, to go home to the source, to go home to where I'm from. And that's what moves me deeply. And that's what I'm totally in surrender to, or as totally as I can be conscious of right now. And it's a really beautiful feeling. So I welcome it. I welcome that familiar feeling for me of just longing, but surrender to love and to union, to the source of my heart. So I woke with that sweetness and some tears, and recognizing in me there is still this longing to go home. And I've been conscious about it since I was about 11, when I got really confused about why there's so much suffering on the earth, and it became so conscious, like, why is there so much suffering? Like, this is wrong. Like, it's not natural. It's not natural. It's not where we're from. It's not, like, something's off on this planet. And so then it became my life to seek understanding of human suffering. And then many times I got caught in, like, I gotta make a change, I gotta make a difference. Ultimately, I just wanted to eliminate my own suffering so I could go home again. So what's really awesome that I want to share with you is that I'm free of suffering. And as I stand here with, cancer diagnosis, it's just facilitating for me more waking up and alertness and deeper intimacy with myself. Like, that's what I wanted. I've really wanted to go home. And so really, in a real way, contemplating death, like, what if I was to die? I'm doing all my things. I'm like, eat more greens. I'm like eating the right things and doing all the supplements and receiving the research, and I'm dedicated to Joshua and his life and my life on the planet, if that's where my service is. Whether my service is in, for another year or 2 or 5, or for another 50, I'm open to it. But as I'm really contemplating, like, what if it's only 2 years? Like, oh my God, I want some experiences with him, And what do I really want? And as I said yesterday, like, I've wanted this love that I want. And yet it was still creating suffering in me. So today, I feel the difference. I feel a difference in that, actually what I want even more than that is just to go home. It's just my union with the source. So I feel awesome, because it's like that last piece, that last thread. Of course I still want it and would receive it, like, happily. But this thread of, like, attachment, that it's like, I want this love that I want is gone, because underneath that, more the truth is that I want the union with the source of all that is. And in some ways, like, that's what all of us want. Anybody who's worked with me is like, this has probably come up. I know we've had so many conversations about it. Us human beings wanting to go back to the source. So the sweet thing is, I don't want to go on and on about it, but knowing that that's what I want, just being really clear and honest about it, has also helped me see these other little pieces that, whoa, what if I was really going to die in a year or two or something? What's undone? What's not clean? I feel really good. I feel mostly really good with my relationships. And there's a couple conversations I want to have with people. But there's this stuff about Joshua that I said in yesterday's video. And there's definitely more experiences I want for him. And I want to leave something more for him. So, I'll do what I can with that. But what I've been seeing in the last 24 hours is more little pieces of forgiveness of myself. And I want this for you too, because I've sure learned that this is in the way of happiness and our freedom. I'm having even the slightest more pieces of forgiveness in myself, of like my expectations, like all the little ways that I would expect myself to be more or do more. And it was such a fucking waste of time. Really. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't want you to do it anymore. Like, I just want you to be happy. And I just want you to be free of that too. It's just like grief at, oh my God, what wasted time that was to have this pressure to do more and do more and be more. Lame. I'm not judging it. I'm just like forgiving myself for it. Like, I forgive you, Alexandra, like for wasting that time. For not seeing that, for having so much expectation, for not trusting, for all these little things, for keeping yourself from love, for blah, 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 blah. And anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, that this has been like this has been this gift of death for me. These tiny little memories that I'm having of moments and periods of my life that I got to forgive myself for. And I'm doing it, and it feels really good, and I feel more free, and I'm determined, like, what do I want to experience in this next year and today, and let's make it count. Thanks again. Love you.